The rugged crossover and SUV trend has continued to grow this decade, with most of this increase in interest in off-roading coming from the reintroduced Ford Bronco. With experiencing the outdoors becoming a pastime for Americans, manufacturers have been eager to produce vehicles of their own that can take on the elements. And for Honda, the Passport and Pilot have been the perfect answer to this evolving market. For those in need of a sizable two-row crossover or SUV that doesn't exceed the $50,000 mark, that's where the Passport becomes a great choice. So here are 5 reasons why you should buy a Honda Passport. Vehicles today in the 2020s have fully embraced futuristic and tech-filled interiors, even for mainstream brands that you wouldn't expect to integrate state-of-the-art user interfaces and digital gauge clusters. Yet, that's exactly what you'll receive from Hyundai, Kia, and even Subaru now, as they've started throwing in a larger tablet-like touchscreen into their vehicles' cabins. The Passport, being older than its rivals, brings an old-school yet user-friendly dashboard that buyers will certainly love, as it blends in an intuitive infotainment system with physical buttons with the available 3-zone climate control, AC, front and rear defrosters, and heated seats. While you won't receive a full digital instrument display, you can scroll through a list of information that, quite frankly, isn't the most archaic in this market. From a comfort perspective, all Passports will receive leather-trimmed seats, which aren't necessarily the most aggressively bolstered. However, they are plush, supportive, and with retractable armrests, longer drives with the family can be a pleasant experience. Returning to the head unit, you'll receive an 8-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility, with onboard navigation coming standard for the TrailSport and Elite trims. Despite this infotainment system being offered on other Honda products, it's packaged differently compared to the completely redesigned Pilot, which we'd recommend if you need the extra interior space and want a modern 3-row SUV. While a refresh should be coming soon to the Passport, its price point could be appealing for shoppers on a budget. It seems inevitable at this point that we'll all be driving vehicles with turbocharged 4-cylinder engines in this market before we switch to going all electric. But before that day arrives, Honda has shown commitment to 6 cylinders for their SUVs. And while you may sacrifice some fuel efficiency, the smiles per gallon with the Passport will be well worth the cost at the pump. Powering this 2-row SUV is a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6 engine, producing 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque, and is paired with a 9-speed automatic transmission. Regardless of whether this generation continues on for another year or so, or receives the same refresh the Pilot experienced earlier this year, Honda's decision to continue using a V6 makes this SUV an appealing option, but also a unique choice in this segment that reinforces the Passport's rugged and capable attributes. While rivals are using Turbo 4s, the Passport is no slouch, and in fact has a 0 to 60 time of just over 6 seconds, which is not only competitive for its class, but is quicker than some of the other 2-row crossovers in this price range. More noteworthy, and this is a testament to Honda's platforms, the Passport doesn't resemble a crossover, and whether it's that V6 or its close relation to the Ridgeline, this SUV does feel more truck-like than competitors. However, handling-wise, the Passport is very maneuverable thanks to the lighter steering. And while this SUV is significantly larger and wider than the CR-V, buyers ready to make the jump won't have to adjust the driving dynamics, as you quickly forget the 5-inch difference in width. Best of all, thanks to the traditional automatic, unlike the CVT in that CR-V, your experience behind the wheel will be more exhilarating, but also enjoyable. For an SUV that only comes available in 3 trims, its versatility as a daily driver and rugged vehicle makes it multidimensional for many shoppers. As you've noticed throughout this quick buyer's guide, we had featured the TrailSport, Honda's moniker and trim for their more off-road friendly SUVs. However, unlike their closest rivals, they didn't slap on all-terrain tires or beat up the plastic cladding for the Passport, leaving all of that up to the customer's decision making. As a result, the TrailSport is more than tolerable on the roadways, even with the grippier tires, although there is an increase in road noise. As mentioned earlier, the leather seats that come standard set the tone for what the Passport is all about, and that it's not just a product to fill out the lineup, but it's actually a sporty two-row SUV that offers a list of creature comforts that you may not find not only from the CR-V, but also rivals in this market. With a ground clearance of 8.1 inches, you can easily tackle the off-road and snow-covered roadways. And if you're somebody who does tow a boat or small RV, by opting for the utility package, you'll receive a trailer hitch with the ability to tow up to 5,000 pounds. While the Passport's original purpose was to counter the Ford Edge and Chevy Blazer, it's become a lifestyle vehicle, especially now with Americans seeking the opportunity to spend some time outdoors. If the V6, traditional interior, or versatility isn't enough to impress you, then maybe the practicality and family friendliness might be the deciding factor. Midsize crossovers and SUVs often become a viable choice for larger families. But if you're constantly on the go and loading up your vehicle with travel cases or gear, the 41.2 cubic feet of room behind the second row seats is one of the best in this market. And in fact, because the second row seats are adjustable, when slid all the way forward, you gain up to 9 additional cubic feet of room if there's small children occupying those seats and you need to max out the interior space. But it gets even better, as passengers in the back will receive up to 39.5 inches of legroom. And because of the higher roofline, taller adults won't be feeling the squeeze. Due to the width of the Passport, you should be able to accommodate an additional passenger in the center seat, which isn't always the case for crossovers and SUVs in this segment. What's considered SUVs today is a far cry from where we were prior to the new millennium. And while the Honda Passport isn't built on a body-on-frame chassis, its demeanor, driving dynamics, and personality contrast greatly to its rivals from Subaru, Mazda, Ford, and Chevrolet. Because of its retro interior and still being powered by a V6, traditional buyers in this market may feel compelled to choose the Passport, especially those who don't desire interacting with a lot of technology when behind the wheel, or have very little interest in daily driving a vehicle powered by a Turbo 4. However, for whatever reason that draws you into this two-row SUV, it's a direct link to the past, with the capability, versatility, and more importantly, the reliability that makes it a solid choice in this ever-growing rugged crossover and SUV segment. We hope you enjoyed this quick buyer's guide for the Honda Passport. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And if you're interested in buying a Passport or any other SUV, make sure to check out our full reviews to help you find your next vehicle. And thanks for watching.